Hi, everybody. Jim Graham here for Beyond the Cage, presented by Fight Chicks. On the line, we have a special guest joining us. He will be fighting on the undercard of UFC Fight Night Halifax from Nova Scotia on October 4th. He is Mr. Daron Cruickshank. And Daron, thanks for coming back on the show.
Hey, no problem. Thanks for having me, guys.
Now, of course, summer's wrapping up here in 2014, but are you excited for the fall season, Daron?
I definitely am. I like to be outdoors, and hunting season is just opening up, so getting excited.
So with hunting season, are you going to do any shooting competitions there with your rifles or guns?
Yeah, I actually have one more third weekend of October, and then it really just shuts down for that season, and then it's time to go kill some deer.
Now, I don't know if you saw, but the new UFC card set, UFC Champions 2014, came out, and of course, once again, you were featured. First set in a while you've been featured. Have you had a chance to see any of your cards from the set yet?
From the top trading cards?
Yeah, the brand new set that just came out.
I have not seen them. Every time I go to a show or something like that, someone brings me one to sign and stuff, and I'm like, man, these are freaking awesome. Why don't I get informed of this stuff, and why don't I have a cool copy?
Well, I have some extras of your base card. I can definitely give you a couple if you need some for your collection.
Yeah, I definitely have to at least see them. I don't even know what they look like.
Well, it looks pretty cool. I'm not sure which fight it's from, but they got you kind of like in a victory pose kind of sort of thing, like you're all jacked up like you just knocked somebody out. So it might have been from the Rio fight or from the Coke fight is my guess.
Right, most recent.
Well, you were at Bellator 124 in Plymouth, Michigan here, cornering your good friend Jason Fisher, and Bellator has kind of changed probably since the last time you were around there. And what did you kind of think of the new Bellator?
Well, they're getting better at putting on a show and running it and stuff. So that's always good. I think we had 3 guys on that card, the Michigan card, and Michigan top team went 3-0 that night. So that's always a plus.
Yeah, it was definitely awesome to see all the guys out there with the local talent and everything. And were you kind of jealous at all that Jason got to fight right there in Plymouth? You're kind of thinking, man, when's the UFC going to give me a hometown fight like that?
I hope they do come back soon. I feel like the Michigan fans are ready for a UFC to come back. And it'd be sweet if I was a headliner. Yeah.
Now, speaking of Jason Fisher real quickly, what did you think about his performance and win over Tony Hervey at Bellator 124?
Yeah, Tony is a tough guy. I used to train with Tony way back in the day when I was just a baby in the sport, but Tony is he trains hard, but I don't feel like he gets the right training or for being in Michigan. I'd like to see him come to the Michigan top team and become part of the sports system. But Jason definitely brought it to him. We've been working a lot with Jason as far as going after guys. He kind of stepped back of being an aggressive fighter his last couple fights, and it's just a mental thing with Jason. He just has to go after people and go for the finish, and that's what happens. Look at he had a perfect performance against Tony.
Now, the new season of The Ultimate Fighter just debuted here the other week, and I was wondering, have you caught any of the episodes for this new season of The Ultimate Fighter? Yeah,
the thing is I don't normally watch The Ultimate Fighter, but this season I'm definitely a fan, because I've met a few of the girls before the show, and it's cool to see what happens on the show. Rhonda Marcos actually started training with us about a month before she went off to The Ultimate Fighter, and so I got a lot of time in with her as far as training her and getting her ready. And she's definitely one tough little girl. She definitely surprised me with her first fight with Chicha Torres. And she doesn't tell me any of the secrets and stuff, so she's making me wait and watch the episode, so it's cool.
It's different than when you were on because everything was live. We got to see everything that happened that week. There weren't any secrets, but with hers, it's a completely different animal than when you were on.
Exactly. Yeah, she can't tell me any of her cool secrets that happen in the house or anything like that. So that's got to be hard to hold everything in.
For sure. And so, obviously she lives over in Windsor. You said she trained just before the show. Is she going to be a regular member of your crew now at Michigan Top Team moving forward?
Oh yeah, she's part of Michigan Top Team now. She's one of our girl fighters. She comes over. She makes the drive probably about 4 days a week now, and just getting ready and for whatever her next fight is.
And that's got to be good for you guys. Obviously you got yourself and Jason, some other guys making, waves in the Michigan amateur scene as well as Bellator. But to get her, that's got to be, really good for your team and everything to bring someone else in who's kind of had this experience on the show, who's, going to be one of the, the new weight class here for the UFC women's division.
Oh, it's huge. It's huge, for us, having her, because she is another UFC fighter, making a big splash. Coming out of Michigan Top Team. What we've been working on, what we're known for, especially me in my style of striking and using your hands and feet. That's what we're trying to incorporate in her style. And, cause she's a really good, grinder. She's really tough, wrestler as far as, the women's weight class and stuff. So we've been trying to work on her striking and and closing the distance and all that. So learn how to hit with power.
Now, speaking of Michigan Top Team, when we had Jason on just a couple weeks ago before his fight against Tony Hervey, he mentioned you guys were kind of searching for a new location for your gym. I didn't know, is that search still going on, or have you come close to finding any permanent homes yet?
Yeah, we've looked at a bunch of buildings. What the thing is we're getting too big for the space that we have. And as far as Michigan Top Team, we are like sister schools with Detroit Jiu-Jitsu Academy. And wherever they go, we go. Because we train together. Our guys go downstairs. Their guys come up for wrestling to Michigan Top Team. And, it's just a good relationship. So we're not going anywhere until we find a building that can fit both of us.
Okay. I've seen some locations around here in, like Redford, Westland, Livonia, some good spaces there. I don't know if it's not like a double tier thing, but there's some big spaces around that are definitely available.
Well, the thing is we're trying to stay in the Dearborn Heights area, because when you open a business, when you never want to move past like 5 miles, because then you'll lose part of your clientele. So, and the big thing is Detroit Jiu-Jitsu Academy has the best kids jiu-jitsu program in Michigan. I mean, there's a waiting list to get in there. So, we don't want to move away from Detroit Jiu-Jitsu Academy's, clientele.
Now, looking at the Ultimate Fighter, specifically your season, Daron, obviously you've been successful. We've had Al Iaquinta, Michael Chiesa, Miles Jury. All these guys, including yourself, have made a really big splash here in the last year or two. And Miles Jury had a huge win last weekend against Takanori Gomi. When you sit back and kind of look at yourself and some of the other guys in the show, does it surprise you at all to see so many cast members that you were with and trained with and saw fight have success after the show?
Definitely not. I feel like season 15, the live season of the Ultimate Fighter, all of us, we are like a tough bunch of a group of guys. I mean, they didn't pick a bunch of guys that were drama people and just put on a good show. They picked a bunch of stud fighters to put on that show, and you put us all in the house. It's a tough house. You know what I'm saying? So. I feel like they picked a bunch of studs, and now that you see, none of us, there was only one winner, but you see the majority of the guys that were in the same house are kicking ass outside, in the actual octagon. So it's awesome.
Let's take a look back at your last fight, Daron, against Jorge Masvidal back in San Jose, and in the first round, you were able to knock him down with a nice straight punch. And when that happened, something that doesn't happen too often to Mr. Masvidal, did that change your mindset at all in that fight?
Well, As far as my training for that fight, I got ready for a striking battle for sure. You know, I didn't think he was going to, you know, try to grapple with me. So I didn't do as much wrestling. I didn't do as much grappling that I should have, obviously, because he ended up, after I hit him, he realized, you know, hey, this guy hits hard, so I'm going to try to take him down. And he took it to a different game, and I wasn't ready for that. So once I knocked him down, I thought, oh yeah, I can win this fight. Well, you know, I'm ready. I'm confident. But, you know, the wrestling game played a factor. You know, I wrestled in college, but for that fight, I wasn't getting ready for a wrestling match. You know, I thought I was going to be, you know, striking battle. And, you know, I feel like every little exchange that we did, strike on our feet, I won. So he just took it to a different level. You know, smart fighter.
And is that the one thing you can kind of take away and look and make adjustments for the next fight? Was you, as you mentioned, maybe try to be prepared for a curveball like that? Yeah,
Anthony Njokuani is who I'm fighting next, and he's, you know, predominantly a tough striker. You know, there's no guessing in his game. I mean, he's a Muay Thai practitioner. He switches both sides, and he likes to bang. And every single time his fight goes to the mat, he loses.
And like you said, he's an exciting striker, maybe not the best at the ground game, but when the UFC contacted you to fight Njokuani, who's a very exciting striker, much like yourself, was that an instant no-brainer? Like, of course I'll take that fight.
Oh yeah, I mean, I've said no to one fight when I was in the UFC, and it's because I just fought and I got the flu. I don't say no. When they call me to fight, I'm ready to go every single time.
Now, when you take on Njokuani, obviously he has the stand-up skills, but is this a fight where you maybe try to avoid any chance of him catching you with something and maybe try to switch things up and take it to the ground yourself?
Well, you know, I'm really confident in my striking. He supposedly has the advantage of being longer and taller and the reach advantage, but once I get inside, that advantage goes away and it's my advantage. It's time to work. So all I have to do is work my way in, get inside, and go to work.
Jim Graham talking with Daron Cruickshank. You can follow him on Twitter at Cruickshank155, preparing for his fight against Anthony Njokuani at UFC Fight Night 54 on October 4th. His fight will be shown at Fox Sports 1 with the prelims starting at 8 p.m. Eastern. And we're about a week until weigh-ins there. And so what's your weight looking at right now?
I woke up today at 174.
So got about 20 pounds to go to do all the transition stuff the week before the fight?
That's normal for me. I normally get there fight week, about the same weight, just a little less body fat, a little more water in me. And then, you know, I start really cutting out the calories, getting as much body fat as off me. I still stay hydrated up until about 24 hours before the weigh-in. Boom, drop the rest of the weight. It's time to make some money.
Now, your fight will be in Halifax, Nova Scotia, which when I looked up the Google Maps was something like 22 hours or something from Detroit. So I think, is this probably the farthest you fought from Michigan? This has to be close to when you fought down in Brazil, right?
Yeah, I mean, I fought in Brazil, I fought in Montreal. I guess those would be the furthest ones. One time I fought in Montreal before the UFC, and my flight was the furthest flight I've ever had to go. I had to go from Michigan to Florida to Montreal. So make that, you do the math, it's weird, but, and when I fought, what's his name from TriStar?
Mike Ricci, that's who you beat.
Yeah, Mike Ricci. Yeah, Mike Ricci. So they flew me to Florida first. It's weird.
All right, so the main event of the fight night in Halifax is Rory McDonald against former Strikeforce champion Tarek Saffiedine. What do you think about that fight?
Well, I don't know the guy that Rory's fighting, so I can't really say much, but I will say that Rory, he's a good striker, so I look forward to watching that fight, being that I'm a fan of the striking game, so it'll be a good fight.
All right, he is Mr. Daron Cruickshank. He will be fighting at UFC Fight Night 54, October 4th. You can watch his fight on Fox Sports 1, the prelim starting at 8 p.m. Eastern against Anthony Njokuani. And please follow him on Twitter at Cruickshank155. Daron, thanks for coming back on the show, and look forward to watching your fight next Saturday.
Sounds good. Thanks for having me.
Once again, that was Daron Cruickshank right here on Beyond the Cage, presented by Fight Chicks.